Welcome back, everyone, to the KnowItAll podcast series, your career cheat sheet. And I'm on a good streak. I've been recording the episodes for the last 2, 3 weeks. So today I have an amazing guest here with me, Udit. We've known each other for a while now, but I'll pass it on to him to introduce himself and share his journey with us. Yes, over to you, Udit.
Yes, absolutely. Thanks a lot, Sachin, for inviting me and sharing my experience. A bit about myself. I'm Udit, software engineer, with a bit more of experience, more than 3 years now. Joined a startup back home in India. Did my bachelor's. We did our bachelor's together. Joined Zytec Technologies as a software developer, Android developer at first. Since it was a startup, I had the opportunity to expose myself to multiple roles at the same time. So had a great experience there. Moved to Canada in 2021. Pursued my post graduation at Humber College, IGS campus in Toronto. Did my post graduation in information technology solutions, and then joined Access to Networks. Access to Networks is a cybersecurity company, and initially joined as a SIM analyst. But then, since my manager knew that I had prior software development experience, he came up with problem statements to me. So, joined, like not joined, but got a title as a software engineer there. And then I've been continuing since then, and then recently joined Cisco. So that's my journey so far.
A very interesting curve for this, but
Yeah.
maybe just to take a step back, right? You said something about Sims engineering or analyst, is it? So if you
Yes.
if you would like to maybe elaborate a bit on that, so everyone here also is aware of what that is, what you do
Sure.
on daily basis with that.
Right. So SIM analyst, basically SIM stands for security investigation and event management. Being a SIM analyst, my roles and responsibilities were creating alerts, triaging them, creating reports, and delivering them to the customers. I was also taking care of infrastructure. So at my previous company, we used ELK stack. So that
Mm-hmm.
is when I actually got introduced to the ELK stack, and I found it very fascinating. I've been exploring it since then. Even till date, I've been using it. So yeah, that's a bit about what the SIM analysts actually do. There's
Right,
another department as well, which is the SOC, the Security Operations Center.
right, yes.
Um, their roles differ a bit. Like it's more of helping the customers solve their network issues or manage their devices, sort of a
Right.
thing.
Mm-hmm.
So that is how SIM differs from SOC.
Right. And I guess that the one which you mentioned for SOC is more of a twofold department, I guess, right? One is customer facing, which you mentioned, but I've also heard this term used at my workplace, wherein they usually support and manage production issues, right? So if let's say
Yes,
while deploying applications, if we as developers face any issues and we need to pull up resources on call, then we
yeah,
basically call SOC, and then they look up whoever's
correct.
on call and they get us.
Correct. Yeah, they are the on-call support and help us
Right.
with troubleshooting most of the times.
Right. Makes sense. Awesome. Okay, then I think our journey started at a pretty similar time frame, right? I came here in April 21. I'm assuming you in
Yes,
September
September
21.
21.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. So how, like, obviously I have talked about it a lot, but maybe from your perspective, how was your journey coming here, or like how was that international student experience just post-COVID coming here to a completely like a new
Yes.
country and start? Well, you did work back home, but still, like it was a completely new landscape, right? So how was that experience?
Yes. Experience was bittersweet.
Hmm.
So, 2021 September, I joined Humber College, but then I came to Canada in 2021 December.
Okay.
So I started my post graduation online.
Right.
And it was not the post COVID, I'd say it was during COVID because we
Hmm.
had to undergo tests and everything.
Yes.
2021 December, I landed Canada. 2022 February 14th or 15th, I found my first job at
Mhm.
Lowe's as a part-time cashier. So when I came in Canada, like again, I had to look for a job again, part-time jobs.
Sure.
Got my SIN number first, then was looking for jobs online. Didn't help. So then I got down, like I printed my resumes and then went to all the possible stores nearby. And then
Right.
luckily Lowe's was hiring at that point of time. So
Mhm.
eventually found my first job there.
Nice, nice. That and again, that goes without saying. Even if you have worked previously in India, like if you have some savings, then good enough. But then again, how
Yeah,
it's only so much that you can use it, right? So you definitely have to find a survival job no matter what. So,
right.
how was that? And then how did you manage that with your studies? Because again, having graduated from Humber, I know the workload and course load is very very high. So how did you manage
Yes.
both of these things?
So initially, honestly, when I came, as I said, my sister, she was already here in Canada,
Okay.
almost a citizen by the time I came. So
Right.
financially, I wasn't that much worried because I
Oh,
she got my back.
right.
So yeah, kudos to her always. Having a family member, especially in a foreign country, is always an asset, and she has
Definitely.
always been an asset to me. So as long as my finances are concerned, yes, I always had my due contribution.
Right.
But I never had to think at the back of the mind that if in case I lose my job or I don't have a job, what might go
Right.
wrong,
Hmm.
right? So as long as that is concerned, I was blessed enough to have her. And then, yeah, as I said, within a month and a half, I was able to find a job. So that didn't really impact a lot of my finances. So yeah,
Right, right. And then, well, again, obviously, it is a relief, right, when you have like a safety net to fall on, even though you hope that you
yes,
don't end up using it, but it's always good to have it.
yes,
So, but
exactly.
then again, did that affect your academics by any chance? Because again, I've talked with a lot of international students, and they get stuck in this loop of doing that 20-30 hours per week of their survival
Right.
job, and they tend to miss
Yes.
out on what's important, right? So what's maybe your take on
Yes.
it?
Yes, I've always been so. I have a different opinion to this. A lot
Mm.
of, as you said, people do work 20, 30 hours. I understand that finances can be hard at times, but
Right,
I've always been hungry when it comes to learning. Even on my off days, whenever I get some time, I was looking for resources to see what's going on when it
right,
comes to our field. What's the new technology? So I've always been keeping myself updated with those. So that's always been my take is whenever you get some time, or what I say is rather than making some money right now, invest those hours in yourself, right?
right,
So if you're doing 20 hours, good. If you're doing 30 hours, why not do those 6 to 10 more hours, invest in yourself? I
mm,
mean, you're going to earn for the rest of your life, right? But
right,
if you do invest those 6 to 10 hours on a weekly basis in yourself, just
right,
see how ahead you are going to put yourself from the rest of the crowd.
right.
So
Okay.
whenever I had the opportunity to do so, I always invested that time in myself. In fact, there were times when I felt the burnout. I
Right.
felt the fatigue, right? Because as you said, that Humber did have a ton of submissions and projects to be
Yes.
done, right? So
Yes.
what I used to do was I used to get up early in the morning. I used to get up
Mm,
at 5:30, and
mhm.
that was the time when I did my first AWS certification, which was cloud practitioner. I remember I
Right,
took my first examination, 5th 5th March 2022. So you
right.
see, the time frame is also that, like me finding a job, as
Mm-hmm.
doing the studies, and also taking out the time to invest in myself. So
Right,
that is what I did. I used to get up early in the morning, invested around 1 to 2 hours, uh,
right.
finished the course, appeared for the exam, passed it. So that's what I would say is always invest some time in yourself. Yeah, always.
Right. Makes sense. Makes sense. And then again, I guess what you said about, let's say, just a very simple thing, or rather, it feels like a very simple thing to wake up early in the morning, right? But it definitely
Yeah.
takes a lot of effort and dedication to
Yes.
do that, right? So maybe are there any other habits, right? Either that you cultivated or you would recommend others do to maybe improve their efficiency, or as you said, to uh, make more time for yourself, you need to just wake up early or go late to sleep, right? So how do
Hmm.
you get in that mindset of doing that? Okay, I have to do this, or else I'm not going to make myself better than what I was yesterday.
Yes, again, it comes from your so I, as I said, I always had the mindset of learning, right? And I
Hmm.
felt frustrated when I was not able to commit to myself.
I see.
So when you have a lot of things to do, you're not able to find time for yourself, you feel frustrated. And that is what was
Right.
happening to me.
Hmm.
So either I had to wake up early or to stay back at night. But then staying
Right.
back at night didn't really help, because you're exhausted. You've already done a lot
Already
of
burned out.
things when it
Right.
comes to colleges, your work, etc. Right? And then you
Right.
have to cook, mop, clean everything.
Right.
So at the same time, waking up fresh in the morning when you don't have anything to do is the best time to
Hmm.
study. So, and I've always been an early bird than
Nice.
a
Okay.
late night owl. So that has always helped me.
Nice, nice. And I completely agree. Like it definitely takes some, I guess, time to get into that habit of, cultivating a discipline for yourself. But then once you
Correct.
do, it's golden.
Yes. You don't have any option, actually, if you think that way.
Right, right. That's true. And then since again we are talking so much about work or dedication, what maybe a few things that you did? Like I definitely know you what you do, but what were the few things that you did to relax or enjoy from all these stressful things that you would have done in the last 2 years?
Yes, I always this might not be relevant, I don't know, but I always encourage people to enroll yourself in at least one sport.
Sure.
It's not necessary um you do some activities, but I always do say that enroll yourself in one sport because that has taught me a lot. Because
Hmm.
so as we're moving on this route, I tell you how I found my first job.
Sure.
But
Yeah.
yeah, I always involve yourself in some sort of a physical activity, not
Hmm.
just sit at home, and that is what I've been doing. So I when I came here, I played my so I used to play cricket back in India,
Right.
and then I found some contacts. I had, and then I also found my college mates whom I used to play with in India. So they came here too. We
Nice.
connected, and then I started playing with them. I joined them in June, May or June, summer, my first summer, and then I was practicing with them. So point being is to always this is what I believe is to
Hmm.
always enroll yourself in at least one sport because you keep
Right.
yourself physically active, fit, and
Right.
that also helps in your cognitive activities when it comes to your brain function, etc. It just keeps you
Right.
fresh. Like it's one of the things somebody else might like to watch TV or watch a Netflix series, but this is what I
Right.
prefer to do.
Right. No, and I think along with, like as you said, keeping yourself physically active or fit, you are still like passively networking, right? Like I know we have a
Exactly,
different,
exactly,
completely new
correct,
segment on that, but that is still passive networking. Like you're meeting 10, 15
exactly.
different people, and then you develop contacts out of it.
And that is the way I found my first job.
Nice, nice. Okay, good. So you're already, I guess, subconsciously networking before
Yeah,
even you got
exactly.
into the hang of it.
Yes.
Nice, nice. Awesome. And just to talk a bit about your educational experience and what you did back home as well, or maybe how you got into your job back home. Maybe yeah. Let's talk a bit about that.
Yeah, sure. Did my bachelor's in information technology solutions from SVIT.
Right.
By the time it was fourth semester, I had already seen a lot of guys taking up internships. So that actually triggered me once.
Mm-hmm.
So then I actually got to know some of my friends who were taking internships, and then
Right.
I had a sort of a FOMO. So um, it was high time, and then I was actually bored because a lot of things that we studied were all theoretical, right?
Sure. Yes. Right.
And I felt that urge of doing something. So Android development was something at that point of time. It is back in 2019-20. Android
Right.
development was something I was fascinated into.
Mm-hmm.
So I remember developing. I actually took my first Udemy course
Okay.
um, regarding Android development, and then I finished it. Once I started it, there was no going back
Right.
because all my theories were now coming into practice. And once
Mm-hmm.
that was happening, I actually got the hang of it.
Right.
So I started loving it, developed a lot of Android applications, had my first Google Play Store account set up. I published my applications on that as well. Did
Hmm.
my first internship, struggled a lot, didn't know anything, but
Right.
I'm always grateful for my first experience. It was with Adri IT Solutions. It's a
Hmm.
small company, around 4 to 5 people used to work there when I joined, and I
Okay.
had three other people who were interning from MSU.
I see.
So when I joined, I actually knew nothing. I mean, I had some basic understanding, right? But then other IT was making solutions for real business, not just
Right.
side projects or passion projects, right? So
Right.
there came the responsibility and the accountability as well.
Hmm.
So you learn to perform under pressure as well. So that is what I learned. I got to know how to parse JSON, how to call an API,
Right.
how to create a list using adapters in Android
Sure.
and Android development, right? So those were the things I initially struggled a lot with. There was
Hmm.
a time when I remember the founder and the owner of Adri IT, he actually got mad at me. Uh, he literally asked me, "What are you doing? If you're not interested, please feel free to leave." Right? So
Right.
it's not that I didn't want it to do, but I struggled.
Hmm.
But I'm always grateful for that experience because based on that, I found another job, which is at Zytec Technologies. After finishing my graduation, like bachelor's IT, and yeah, haven't stopped since then.
Nice, nice. And maybe, sorry, I missed this, but was there like a set plan for you to come here, or like how did that happen? Like maybe you were already working in India, so did you already
Yes.
have this in mind that you wanted to go out?
Honestly, I had in my mind, but I didn't have the strong urge, like
Right.
I wasn't
Okay.
mad about going out. Yes,
Okay.
I wanted to come here for better life prospects, but I
Right.
wasn't mad or I didn't have, a foreign dream or a Canadian dream or an American dream to come out and settle. It wasn't like that.
Okay.
Yes, I always knew that I had my sister over here already. So I just wanted to go, as I said, for better life prospects. I came here, and that was my plan.
Mhm.
So I did appear for my IELTS,
Right.
2020 March, right? And then that is exactly when
COVID hit.
COVID hit.
Yeah. Hmm.
So I did a lot of certifications in that time from March
Nice.
to August, right? Yeah, not just Android development. I did web development as well. I learned about DevOps. Did some UI designing, graphics designing as well, and then landed my first job 2022 August.
Okay.
So uh, the IT Solutions was my internship. Did my first
Hmm.
job 2020 August.
Okay.
So since everything came to a standstill at that point of time because of COVID, the
Hmm.
borders were closed, right?
Yep.
So then it was better for me to drop my plan because all the submissions and everything had stopped,
Right.
even here in Canada, right? So
It's
had to postpone my ideas. I mean, my idea of coming here.
right.
Um, then in the meantime, of course, I had to do something. I didn't want it to sit at home, so found a job. Worked there for one year and around 1 to 2 months.
Okay.
14, 15 months, and then 2021 I started Humber, and then 2021 December I came here.
Okay. Got it. Got it. Okay. So it worked out fine at the end, I guess, but it wasn't
Yes.
like a hell-bent plan. Okay. Makes sense.
Yeah, and actually, it was a blessing in disguise, right?
Hmm.
Because that experience helped me, helped me like in terms of your immigration, everything here,
Right.
right?
Right.
So even when you're applying for your permanent residency, all those years of experience, those points
Hmm.
matter. A lot of
Right.
my friends who didn't have a year of experience or no experience back in India, they actually have
Right.
to wait for 2 years of their Canadian experience. But as compared to others, I had to wait for 1 year of Canadian experience. So
Right. Got it.
that already put me ahead as
Hmm.
against to a lot of other guys. So
Okay.
it
Okay.
helped. Always helps. Yeah.
Right. And since you mentioned foreign work experience, right? So Um, has that helped you land whatever first internship or job that you did here before moving to Cisco, right? So, do you like, according to you, does foreign experience account for anything? Because I've heard a lot of things around it, right? So, what's your take on that?
So, just to clarify, foreign experience, because I didn't have any foreign experience.
No,
The
as in
first
you,
job I found. Yeah,
You work back home, right? Let's say
yeah,
Android development or web development that you did. So just over an year
right.
of experience you already had. So when you were looking for your jobs here, did that
Mhm.
help in any case, or do employers here in North America or Canada in general don't consider any foreign work experience valid enough?
Honestly, I'm not sure of that, but
Mhm.
based on my experience, what I would say is when I was looking for my so I joined Access to Networks part
Right.
time, but then I didn't have any confirmations of joining it as a full time, right? Because
Okay.
that was not in the plan. So I was just continuing as long as I was finishing
Mhm.
my post graduation at Humber, right? So in the meantime, of course, I was looking for other jobs as well.
Right.
So whenever I reached out, I do feel that I had an edge
Mhm.
because um, training somebody from scratch versus training somebody who has some experience, at least the basic terminologies, right?
Right.
So that always helps. And yeah, I do feel because whenever I used to send out cold emails to hiring managers or senior technological officers, whenever I had the opportunity to talk about my experience,
Mhm.
I mean, that is the first thing they always ask, right? Like, tell me about yourself and tell me about your experience,
Right.
right? Just as you did to me. Uh,
Mhm. Mhm.
Talk me about yourself. So even they did. And that is
Right.
when you get that edge. So
I
yeah,
see.
I'm sure that helps. Yeah.
Okay. I guess it gives you like a true story of experiences to talk about, right? Then you don't have to make up anything that you haven't done,
Exactly.
and you can
Exactly.
just speak from your true experience. Okay. That makes
Correct.
sense.
Yes.
Got it. And yes, so since again we talked about your first job here that you work part-time, right? So how
Yeah.
was that job search process for you? Like what was maybe your strategy, or how did you land that first gig here in Canada?
So it was quite eventful. As I said, I joined a club, cricketing club, used to
Right.
play with them, passively networked,
Hmm.
got to know a lot of people, people working as a senior manager, as a vice president, Shoppers Drug Mart and whatnot, even Home Depot.
Hmm.
Then one of the guys, Osham, my hiring manager at my previous company, Access to
Hmm.
Networks, he
Right.
and I, we play cricket together.
Okay. Nice.
So he knew that there are some loopholes that my engineering experience might come into play and help us
Right.
improve that process, right?
Hmm.
So he's the one who actually referred me for a position as a SIM analyst, as I just said before, at Access to
Okay.
Networks.
Hmm.
So I started my first part-time gig at Lowe's 2022 February,
Right.
2022 October 11. I joined Access to Networks as a
Okay.
SIM analyst, and then I within a month or two, I was working as a software engineer there. So
Right.
as you said, Pes, I was yeah. Again, it helped in blessing in disguise.
Right.
It just happened so that I was playing with them. There was need of somebody who could do the automation, had
Right.
some prior programming experience. That is where I could bring value to business.
Definitely, definitely. And then was there any like due hiring process as such, or since you had strong referrals, or whoever referred you was again, in the industry for a long time, like did that eliminate any steps in your hiring process?
Um, that definitely helped because we
Hmm.
were not sorry, Access to Networks cybersecurity company, relatively small, around
Okay,
65 members, right? So everybody knows each other,
I
and
see.
that A2N, Access to Networks or A2N, is a company
Mhm.
that strongly emphasizes on referrals.
Right,
So I had that advantage because my hiring manager, he had been working there for almost 6 to 7 years then.
I see.
So he had a good repo there, and
Mhm.
bringing somebody who has a good repo always helps,
Mhm.
and that is what helped me.
Okay,
Of
got
course,
it.
I did
And
have the interview
Mhm.
process, but yeah, that it did definitely help me.
Right, and again, I guess you need people with value to vouch for you, right? As you said, the
Exactly,
person who referred you was already working there for 5, 6 years. So that company values that person's opinion as well. And then if that person
correct,
speaks highly of you, then they will definitely consider you. So makes sense.
correct.
Got it. And then how does that translate to Cisco, like where you are right now at a I would say a better position? Definitely, like I know you're a software engineer too, right? At Cisco. So how
Yeah.
did that entire journey transition from just like getting in a tech field in Canada for the first time through a referral versus where you are today?
Yes. In my experience, what matters is in the current job market, having the domain level knowledge matters a lot, right? So
Hmm.
Cisco being a networking company, telecom company,
Right. Hmm.
especially security focused company, and so was access to networks.
Okay.
So I remember landing some roles, especially with the help of the security domain I had. So I'll talk about my one of my experience when I interviewed with RBC.
Okay.
I interviewed twice actually. So when I was graduating, even before my 4 months before my graduation at Humber College, it was
Hmm.
December, I remember, 12th December 2022.
Okay.
Oh, not 22, maybe I don't remember, but yeah, 12th December, it was my birthday, and I
Hmm.
interviewed for RBC. So it was regarding their cloud security, some yeah, cloud
Sure.
security
Mm.
uh, group. And then the second time I interviewed with RBC was for a cybersecurity automation analyst
Okay.
again. So, whenever you have that domain level experience when it comes to
Mm.
networking or security, that always gives you upper hand as compared to the rest of the people who might be applying for the same role.
Right.
So, transitioning from A2 into Cisco, that has been a task, a major task, I would say.
Hmm.
It wasn't easy. I'm sure we'll talk about that entire process going
Right.
ahead.
Yeah.
But yeah, that wasn't easy. But what I'd say helped me was my security level experience because as I said, I had worked in security, alerts, triaging,
Right.
infrastructure, processing a
Hmm.
lot of millions and billions of logs,
Right.
how to create log ingestion pipelines. So that's some of the KPIs when it comes to the security and the networking
Hmm.
side of the things, and that is what helped me stand out when it comes to Cisco.
Got it. Got it. Okay. So domain knowledge again, very, very important. But you
Yes,
said that you definitely interviewed with a few other companies before you
correct.
joined Cisco, right? So um,
Yes.
assuming majority of them still being security or similar domain positions, uh, do you feel or did you get a feedback of what maybe went wrong with those interviews or like why did that not go ahead?
It's not always the case. You get some of the times you get feedback.
Right.
I've always been asking for feedbacks. That helps
Right.
me how to put myself in a better position the next time interviewed, not just with them, but with any other company.
Sure.
So yeah, I'm sorry, just lost the chain of my thoughts. What was the question?
Right. So, did that feedback like help you, or maybe like did you know the reason of why that
Oh
interview did
yeah,
not go through?
right.
Yeah.
Yes. So some of the companies have been kind enough to give me the feedback. Others have not. But
Hmm.
whenever I had the opportunity to implement and rectify my mistakes, I've always tried to do so. I talk about my experience when I got a feedback. So I interviewed with Marketa. Marketa is a company, fintech company, and interviewed with them. Did my first round. Uh, the recruiter screen, then had my first coding round, and then I
Right.
passed that as well. Then even though I passed, I always requested for a feedback. So just to know what went right and what went wrong,
Sure.
what are the areas of always improvement, right? And
Right.
then unfortunately I couldn't clear the hiring manager round, which was the final round,
Hmm.
and that is when I again requested for the interview. I mean, not sorry, feedback.
Hmm.
And then the recruiter was very kind enough. She scheduled a special call for me, 15
Right.
minutes of her time, and then she told me everything that actually worked well and actually did
Okay.
not work well.
Hmm.
And yeah, she told me that, Udit, while you were explaining your thoughts, your experiences, the hiring manager was expecting you to be a bit more you had to speak. He was expecting you to speak in depth
Okay.
when it comes to the technical aspects.
Mm.
So
Okay.
That was one such instance. Other one such instance was with Relay. Relay is
Mhm.
again a Relay Financial. I'm not sure if you've heard of it, but they're a great
Right.
company as well.
Mhm.
Interviewed with them in 2024 August.
Okay.
They gave me a feedback as well, what went right, what went wrong. I've always been a backend focused guy when it comes to backend cloud and infrastructure. That has always been my interest. I've always been curious about that domain. So I remember it was for a full stack opportunity. And then so it was a 1 hour coding interview where I had to develop a full stack application, write a backend API, and then integrate with React frontend.
Okay.
So did the back end quickly. Front end I struggled
Mhm.
because I wasn't even while I was working at Ep.11, I was more focused on the back end. So
Right.
I wasn't in the practice of front end, right? And I just missed out on a few basic concepts. And then the feedback that I received was very silly mistake that I realized. So when I finished my interview with Relay, just 5 to 10 minutes after, I just banged my head and told myself that um, why didn't I use a drop down list, and why
Okay.
did I use just a text box, right? So what
Mhm.
they had, the task was uh, giving the customers a
Right.
page where they
Mhm.
could select what kind of an account they want,
Okay.
right? So instead of using a drop down list, I use a text box. And that is
Mhm.
what clicked me after I finished the interview. And that is
Right.
exactly what I got to know as a feedback that
Hmm.
I should have used, right?
Understood.
So those things always help.
Okay.
It's again, it always comes down to how you perform, especially in those pressure moments. So
Right.
yeah, keep all I'd say is keep interviewing. That just gives you the momentum, and that
Right.
helps. Yeah.
Right. And I guess once you start like getting those interviews consistently, you at least know that your first like foundation is good, right? Like your resume is good, it's getting picked up, your
Right.
screening calls are
Exactly.
going through. So you just have to now
Yes.
focus on the actual interview process.
Exactly. Yeah. So, in my experience, I'd always say that don't prepare when you get an interview or you have a recruiting
Hmm.
round.
Right.
Keep preparing, right? Because
Right.
you have to be ready. You never know when that interview will come.
Very true.
That didn't help me earlier. I remember 2024 was a year where this happened to me. I realized that it wasn't the right thing to do.
Right.
I was so focused in landing an interview that I actually
Hmm.
forgot to prepare about it, right?
Right.
And I remember somebody saying on LinkedIn, and it's very true. Interviews come to you when you're prepared for it. I started
Hmm.
preparing for interviews, and then I started receiving interviews.
Nice. Nice.
So prepare for
And
those. Yes.
I think it stings more when you do get an interview and you know what to do or what you could have done better, but you miss out on it because of lack of preparation, right? So that
Exactly.
that stings
Exactly.
more. Right.
Yes, and once
Agreed.
you start appearing for interviews, it just becomes like everything
Habit.
fits in
Yeah.
your muscle memory, right?
Right.
Um, I did so many recruiter screen calls that
Mm-hmm.
the moment the moment they say, "Oh, the stage is yours," I had a script or a pitch
Right.
in my mind already prepared, right? I actually didn't have to
Right.
prepare; it just came out
Right.
naturally because that is what I have been saying to all the recruiters.
Got it.
So
Got it.
that helped a lot.
Got it. Makes sense. Makes sense. Well said. But yeah, maybe I think you wanted to cover the interview process for Cisco as well. So yeah, maybe let's talk a bit about that hiring process for Cisco.
Yeah, sure. So this has been again a funny thing. 2024 October is when
Mhm.
I saw this opening at Cisco, and I found that role interesting, right? So I applied for it. My resume got selected, and then I
Mhm.
had the online assessment. The online assessment was around 90 minutes, two coding questions.
Okay.
Out of the two, I was able to solve one
Okay.
entirely, and the other one partially.
Okay.
It had around 11 to 12 test cases, and I was able to pass around 7 to 8 of them,
Right.
right? And
And
based on
sorry,
that,
was this a
yeah,
live coding or like an offline assessment?
n- just an assessment, yeah, not live
Okay.
coding, but it was
Okay.
proctored.
Okay. Got it. Okay.
So I did my assessment,
Hmm.
submitted it, and actually never heard back from them.
Okay.
So And then after 7 months in April, I got reached out by a recruiter from Cisco, and
Hmm.
he told me that, Udit, I do have your resume and your online assessment that you appeared for earlier,
Right. Right.
some time ago on
Hmm.
file. So they had this opening for SD-WAN. SD-WAN is the product that I'm working on for Cisco.
Okay.
So I had
Hmm.
this opening in SD-WAN, and he approached me if I was still interested. And honestly, for 5 to 10 minutes, I had to scratch my head and think, when
You
did I
didn't even
actually
remember.
appear? In
Yeah.
my, I don't even remember, right? But
Right.
it's, after everything that has happened, sometimes I feel that some roles are destined for you. Maybe
True.
this
Very well
was
said.
one of
Yeah.
maybe this was one of those roles which was destined for me. So it
Right.
didn't click back in 2024 October. It clicked April.
Right.
So passed again the recruiter. So they also consider the recruiting screening as a round as well, right? So cleared the
Okay.
recruiting screening round two. Then had my first coding interview. It was more of an introductory call with a senior engineer.
Okay.
And a small coding interview, an easy one, around 20 to 25 minutes. So
Okay.
45-minute interview, 20 minutes, 20 to 25 minutes coding, and the rest was about sharing your experience, right?
Right.
Did that, solved the coding interview that had, unfortunately cannot disclose, but it was related to linked lists, right?
Okay.
Did that.
So maybe,
And
sorry,
yeah.
just to quickly jump in. So usually when you did the online assessment or this coding
Mhm.
question which you said, right? So would
Yeah.
that be, or rather, if anyone would be applying to similar positions, right? So would these hacker rank or code chef or what is it? Um,
Lead
all
code.
those websites, exactly, lead code questions, do that, does that help, or is it more of a just a fad, like people just keep practicing it?
Um, I'd say both.
Okay.
Because earlier what I used to do was madly solve lead code questions,
Right.
right? Just to gain confidence.
Right.
But then there's so many concepts like linked list
Right.
trees, binary trees, right?
Yes.
It's
Yes.
even if you're committing 1 hour every day, it's very difficult to cover all those.
Sure.
So I realized that this was not the most efficient way to do. So what
Hmm.
instead I used to do was listed down all the core concepts, right? Like linked list or trees, binary trees, then
Right.
arrays,
Hmm.
strings. And then
Right.
based on the concepts I used to take, I began with easy level questions.
Sure.
So
Okay.
my intention was not to gain confidence, but to understand the right methods and functions for each data structure,
Got it.
right?
Okay.
So how to use them. So I focused on CRUD operations, right? How to create or update an element in a linked list
Right.
or a delete,
Okay.
right? How to add a node, those
Hmm.
kind of things.
Right.
Because at the end of the day, no matter how much fancy technologies you know, how many years of experience you have, but it all comes down to writing a few lines
Cool.
of codes, right?
Right.
And that is where I was lacking. I might have the
Hmm.
fanciest technologies on the resume, but when it
Right.
comes to solving basic problems, I struggled. So
Right.
this is
Got
how
it.
I approached.
Okay.
And then, yeah, solved my first coding round with a senior
Right.
engineer. um, and so, yeah, sorry, to answer your question, it does help, but you have to be strategic about it. You just can't be
Okay.
solving
Random.
problems madly, right? It
Okay.
doesn't help that way. You need to know that data structure well, and
Hmm.
especially even more important, when to use them, because these are the questions that will be asked to you, that why this,
Right.
right?
Okay.
Why not
Okay.
this?
Hmm. Hmm.
Right.
Hmm.
So one question I appeared for Cisco, I use the hash map.
Okay.
So the question, the interviewer, he actually asked me, if I'm not wrong, he asked me, why not this? So you
Right.
should be
Got it.
able to justify why you use this. So in
Makes
order
sense.
in order to be able to justify that, you need to have a good understanding what's the purpose of that data structure. So
Right.
you have to be, as I said, you have to be strategic about what you do. You just can't be doing
Hmm.
in the air.
Right, correct. And sorry, just one more follow-up question. So, if anyone
Yeah,
who is starting new with DSA or similar questions, right? So, is it
yeah.
is there a specific language that you feel is, very easier to pick this up and solve these kind of problems, or is it more to your comfort?
I would say programming language is not a barrier. You can pick any you want, but I'd suggest is pick a programming language in which you'd like to pursue your career, right? For example, if you're
Okay.
into more full stack, I'd say TypeScript, JavaScript,
JavaScript. Yeah.
Java, right? If you're more towards data scientist or AI ML thing, I'd say go for Python,
Python. Yeah.
right? And if you're enterprise level, Java is always so Java fits almost fits in all. Not maybe of course not towards AI or ML thing, but
Right.
Java, all your enterprise and legacy systems, they're always they're all built on Java, right? So
Right.
I don't think it's anytime going out of fashion. And object-oriented programming is also important. So
Sure.
yeah, Java is the one language that I'd suggest go learning or practicing,
Right.
because most of the data structures that are being asked, they are mostly related to Java. Like for example, if you do TypeScript, you only have like say set or hash map
Right.
or um, or or an array, right? But if you do Java, you have linked list, you have
List.
list, you
Yeah.
have an
Right.
array list, you have queues, priority queues, and whatnot, right? And these are the things
Right.
that are being asked. So
Okay.
as long as you're able to cover those topics as well from a programming language that doesn't offer these data structures natively, you should be good.
Okay. Got it. Got it. Makes sense. Sorry. Yeah. Please continue. So after round one.
Yes. So after my first round, they clear received a good feedback from the senior engineer.
Hmm.
Then was scheduled for around 4 interviews, 4 to 5 interviews back to back, if I'm not wrong. So
Oh,
to one of them, yeah, 4 interviews. Um, I mean 4 rounds. One was another coding round. The second one was a system design. Third
okay.
one was a behavioral with a senior engineering leader,
Hmm.
and one was a 20 to 25 minutes call with the hiring manager,
Okay.
who was actually leading the entire product,
Okay.
just to know about my experience, if I'm a right fit or not. So that sort of a thing. So
Hmm.
yeah, in fact, two coding rounds, not
Hmm.
just one. Yeah, so coding rounds, I'd say were one of them was easy, another one I
Hmm.
say easy to medium. System
Okay.
design was more of a pseudo code that I had to write and explain why I was choosing this specific thing or how I would like to do this. So it's
Okay.
important to discuss your chain of thoughts, right? So
Right.
uh, earlier, again, this was my failure. I'd say I didn't speak enough, right? I
Hmm.
used to
Hmm.
think in my head because I always felt that if I say something, I might be judged for it. But actually,
Right.
it's not always the case, right? So, um, whosoever is interviewing you, they're there to help you, right? So
Right.
if you're saying that I'm inclining towards using this specific data structure, he knows where you are leading to.
Right.
So some of them are really good enough to help you. Interviews are really good enough to help you. They tell you,
Hmm.
okay, you are going there, but what if you use this?
Right.
So,
Right. So that's a
that is
hint.
the time you
Okay.
need to, exactly, that is the time you
Hmm.
need to recapitulate and think that, okay, what I was thinking might not be the best course to go for, right? So,
Right.
those are the kind of hints that you need to pick up. And
Got it.
yeah, yeah, those
Okay.
things do happen.
Got it. Makes sense. And then after this like long 5 round process, how long did you have to wait to get or rather hear back from them?
It was 2 to 3 weeks yeah, it took me to hear back from them.
Okay. Nice. Got it. Got it.
Yeah.
Makes sense. So definitely a very rigorous interview process. And
Yes,
I guess that's a very standard process for any like FANG level
exactly.
company or a large cap company. So
Yeah, it's always good to explore technologies, right? But then
right.
it always just have to keep in mind that it always comes down to 2 to 3 things. First is your coding round, second is your system design, and third is your behavioral. These
Got it.
three are not, at least for some time. I'm not sure about the future, but they have this is this is what a lot of companies have been preferring, especially the big tech companies.
Right.
At the same time, in my experience too, I interviewed with other companies as well, which were not big tech companies, but
Hmm.
they did have different interview rounds.
Okay.
So one of them was GitLab. I interviewed
Mm-hmm.
with GitLab, and GitLab, they had a different process. So what they do is they give you a task in the form
Okay.
of merge request. So
Okay.
you have to review a merge request, write your reviews, your comments, and then a senior engineer would join you. You have to
Right.
go through the entire merge request along with the senior engineer. He will ask you questions based on why would you do this? Why did you do this? How can you improve
Right.
the code? Why did you
Right.
not choose this? Those kind of questions is where
Hmm.
they're actually testing your knowledge about what trade-offs might when it comes to the performance or the scalability. Why would you do
Sure.
this? Your engineering principles, those kind of things. So it
Hmm.
was in the form of a merge request. Then the one that I talked about, Relay, there wasn't like a typical coding. They had a full stack application, as I said.
Right.
Another company I interviewed was a Clipboard Health. They also had a task that I had to do that was again in the form of a merge request. They gave me a task. It
Okay.
was a 90-minute interview. I mean, take home assessment. I had
Okay.
7 to 10 days to finish it. It was more of a script that I had to write, and
Hmm.
yeah. So it depends the scale of the company, what kind of things they are focusing on,
Right.
and yeah, one other company, I'd say, yeah, Circle CI. I interviewed with Circle CI as well.
Hmm.
Circle CI, they had a coding interview as well, but they focused more on the testing side of the things. They already had a code base, right?
Okay.
I had to go through it and make tweaks and
Okay.
changes in order
Right.
to make the code working.
Got it.
Another company I'd like to talk about was Coinbase.
Oh,
Interviewed with
nice.
Coinbase in February. Um, they so made it to the final round. They have 3 rounds in the final round as well.
Okay.
Um, their process was good too, not like typical lead code type questions.
Hmm.
What they did was they have their questions in the form of different stages. So
Okay.
you complete one stage, and then once you pass all the test cases, they reveal the second test. I mean, the second stage,
Okay.
and then the second stage is actually dependent on the first one. So what they're
Hmm.
more focused on is clean code.
Right.
You just don't have to solve the problem, but
Hmm.
you have to solve the problem in a way that is scalable. You have to write
Nice.
clean code, and that was their utmost focus
Hmm.
from the very beginning. That I realized in the online assessment that I did, because
Right.
it was again based on stages, right? You do one, and then the second is dependent on the first one, third is dependent on
Hmm.
first and two,
Got it.
and the final round that I appeared for, I actually bombed the interview. I was expecting it to be, again, as I said, prepared lead code type question, but again, it was in the form of stages. I
Right.
blundered in the sense, uh, the question, yeah, they revealed the first stage, and the moment I saw the first stage, and I felt like, oh, this is straight and easy forward, right? So without even asking proper clarifying questions, I started coding, which
Hmm.
is the you're rejected there itself, right?
Right. Right.
So that is not I would recommend you to do. Just take your time, analyze what's
Hmm.
asked, and always clarify and confirm that whatever you are thinking uh, is it that what is expected from the
Right.
problem that has been
Right.
presented to you. So
Hmm.
that was my learning from Coinbase. I felt bad about it, of course, but then yeah, always ask and just clarify whether what you are thinking is expected from the problem, and then based on that, um, yeah, keep
Got
going
it.
and do your solution, whatever is required.
Okay, yeah, makes sense. No, that's a lot of good advice. So because I hear a lot of oftentimes what happens is people get stuck in that loop of practicing these lead code problems, but then
Exactly.
either the same problems, obviously you don't expect the same problems to show up in your interviews, right? But as you said, if you're
Yes.
not able to identify the pattern and then apply the solution, then even practicing thousand questions is not going to help you.
Correct. It's important to understand the data structure very well. As I said, the
Right.
functions, the methods, and when to use
Mhm.
them.
Got it. Got it. Makes sense. Awesome. I'm just going through the questions list. Maybe
Yeah.
I'll ask two more questions, and again, I
Okay.
ask this to all my guests. So, if you were to go back in time, let's say back in 2022 when you first landed here, right? What would be one advice that you would give yourself that you have learned or you have experienced or grown to know in the last 2, 3 years?
Right. Um, That's a tricky question. But in fact, there's no one answer to this. There's a couple of
Hmm.
things that I'd always, you learn from your mistakes and
Right.
experiences.
Yeah.
The first thing I'd like to say is, as I said, always invest some time in yourself and don't hesitate
Right.
to invest when it comes to money in growing yourself or growing your skill set, right? I invested in my
Right.
cloud certifications. I took a lot of courses. So
Right.
yeah, always invest in yourself. Take out some time to upgrade yourself, especially in the tech industry. That is one thing I'd like to say. The second thing is initially I used to be disheartened by the outcomes because I was
Hmm.
more committed to them, right?
Right.
But um, eventually I realized is it's more important to commit to the process than to the outcome, right?
Very well said.
Because as long as you are committed to the process, you're enjoying the process, the outcome
Right.
will follow, if
Right.
not today, tomorrow, right? So at some point,
Right.
result, you need the results, right? But
Yeah.
as I said, it will happen because
Hmm.
if but if you're working on something, it's not working, you realize that out of the five things I had to do, one of them is not working, right? So you eliminate that. You try
Right.
the rest of the four things. The fourth is not working, you eliminate that. So it's more of an elimination, and then those
Got it.
that kind of a thing. And there's no one answer to all, right? I've had the
Right.
stupidest of resumes which have helped me land an interview at RBC,
Right. Okay.
right?
Got it.
So it's, as I said, with a lot of commitment and hard work, in my experience, I'd say you also need some luck, because
Sure.
that luck
Definitely.
luck definitely works.
Yeah.
It just needs to click at some point of time.
Right. Yeah, that's well said. And just to follow up on that question, right? I'm sure you again have seen or meet a lot of international students out there, right? So, what would be again one golden advice to them who are just graduating or are looking to get into early career positions at any companies out there in Canada?
Yes, two things. First is, don't network when you're actively looking for a job. The
Hmm.
best time to network is when you're not actively looking for a job,
Right.
because those are the connections which you actually need uh, when you're looking for a job, right? So if I'm
Right.
graduating in April and I start networking with people then and there, it
Hmm.
doesn't work like that, right? Because if
Right.
I'm going on LinkedIn and asking somebody for a favor, nobody knows me. They don't know
Sure.
me. Yes, there have been a lot of people I have met who have referred me
Right.
when I've sent them cold emails, but the chances of that working is quite negligible.
Less. Yep.
So network with people when you're not actively looking for a job, right? So if you're
Hmm.
graduating next year, um, network way before. Just go meet people. And the second thing, following up on that I like to talk is, rather than always asking for a favor, how just convey how you could be of some help or of any help
Right.
to them, right?
Right.
It's
Right.
all about giving than taking.
Yes.
I
Yes.
used
Yes.
to focus more on taking.
Right.
I know a lot of people might disagree because they are looking for a job and they need somebody to help them, refer them, right? But
Right.
this is what we need to realize is the best time to network is before, when you're not looking for a job, right? And
Right.
always have the intention of giving than taking. That will help you build meaningful relation in the long term.
Right. And I guess it comes back eventually, right? Like if you just keep taking or just keep asking for favors, then you're more or less doing like a one-way trade, right? So no one's
Yeah,
interested
exactly.
in that.
Correct. Yes.
Got it. Got it. Makes sense. Awesome. I think I have covered almost everything, but maybe just one last thing. Would
Mhm.
you be okay if, or maybe would you be open to share some resources that helped you with all these coding assessments, online assessments, so that we can put those in description for students who watch this?
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. Yeah, in any way possible. So how
Yeah.
how would we like to go about that?
I'll share a template with you, or maybe you can just share it offline with me, and I'll add it once when I upload the
Okay.
podcast. Yeah.
Okay, perfect. And yeah, since through your platform, I'd like to say a few things. Is first is um, I've been following Tiffany Oman. Tiffany Oman, she is a career coach, and
Okay.
she has a lot of good advice for
Hmm.
anybody who's looking
Okay.
for job, right? Especially when it comes to negotiation and soft skills,
Nice.
right?
Okay.
So there are two things. There are two things. First is to land an interview, right?
Hmm.
And the second is what to do after you land an interview. So
Right.
as long as I know, she's excellent with what she does after you land an interview. I've
Right.
been following her content. She's really good.
Hmm.
And for landing interviews, I've been following Gaurav Valani.
Hmm.
He is based in the US.
Okay.
However, what advice he shares doesn't know any boundaries, right? He's excellent with whatever content he has shared that has helped me
Okay.
create a strong brand for myself, focus on the right things.
Nice.
And as I said, since I interviewed with a couple of good tech companies in the last 5-6 months, I'd say
Hmm.
um, Gaurav's advice and whatever tips that he shares has helped me. So
Right.
yeah, these are the two names that I'd say I'd like to give them
Nice.
them the credit, due credit that has helped me.
Right. No, and we'll pin all these resources in the description as well, along with whatever else you provide. So, but no, this is very helpful. Thank you. Awesome. I think that's all that I had. And again, thank you so much for sharing a lot of your experiences, not just your job search, but even I think a lot of students would resonate with these struggles that we as an international students have when we come here and then transitioning into a full-time job in Canada. So that entire
Yes,
journey is very motivational to a lot of students.
correct. Yes, and anytime. Thanks a lot for having me here.
Amazing, amazing. Thank you, and everyone else who watched till the end. Thank you so much, and yeah, I'll see you guys soon in the next episode.